Brysen take us. All right. We are live.
That's what it say. Yep. Hello.
Yo, yo.
There we go. Oh, I see us.
Okay. So shoot, you got to go back to the other thing and click on that button. Hello, Happy New Year. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon,
Happy
good
New
afternoon.
Year.
Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I think probably Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Halloween. We got to go back about 90 days. We
Mm.
got to go back about 90 days. But Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Whatever your goals are, let your goals be daily, not just the beginning of the year. People often ask me what New Year's resolutions that I have. I learned a long time ago. I just don't make them. Just set goals daily, and that just kind of helps with your psyche and your
Mm.
purpose, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So, welcome to the show. We are back. Happy MLK Day. Happy MLK Day. Thank you, Dr. King, for your sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I
Let
have a
me
dream. Oh,
thank you, LeAnzar.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's LeAnzar Stockley. If you don't know by now,
I've
that's
been to
LeAnzar.
the mountaintop. Mine eyes have seen the glory. I resonate with Dr. King. What he was saying was, I see right through you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, Happy New Year.
How do you feel about Free at Last?
Last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. That one took something out of me. We're free at last.
You feel free today?
Oh, it put something in me too.
Oh, quickening. Well, that's LeAnzar Stockley, ladies and gentlemen. No other intros are needed on his behalf. I will move on to the one and only, the lovely, delectable, delightful, honey sugar coconut
Come
smacks,
on. Yes.
Angel Simmons.
Good evening.
Loves great design. I want to say she's loves greatest
Come
design.
on.
Mm.
Love did it.
I want
Love
to
did
say,
it when he did her, didn't he?
I was
Love.
drinking that.
talking about breaking the mold. Talking about breaking the mold. I
And
feel
no
like
other
you
one.
did something. I
And no
feel
other
like
one.
One of one?
one
What?
of one. One of
And he
one.
was done.
One of
It
one.
is
And it was
finished.
done. It is finished.
It is good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tiffany. Happy New Year.
It is good.
Tiffany,
Hey, Tim.
Tiffany Keita.
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tiffany.
How you doing, sugar? You doing?
So, Happy New Year on the real deal. Um, let's catch up real quick. Let's catch up. It's been about for real in real life about 90 days or so since we've uh been on the same page literally. So what's been going on? What's been going on? Both of you all are famous. I am grateful that you allow me to be in the number. But what's been going on? I don't care who go first.
The most famous should go first because I ain't got nothing going on but the rent.
You got to have a job. Wanna be.
Baby, nothing going on but the rent.
That was my jam.
J-O-B, if you wanna be with me. No romance needs to find it. No.
Woo! I was about to thought, woo, let me reel it back in.
Listen, best generation of music. I don't care what nobody
Mm,
say.
Mm,
man.
mm.
Best generation of music.
That's what's up.
Child. Mm. Listen, I gotta be honest. I struggled through this last season. We had a couple of deaths um, going on. There were two in the family, um, two or three amongst co-workers and staff. um, Spent a lot of the holidays feeling like a failure. Definitely not feeling free. Feeling like a failure. Looking at goals that didn't get met. I had some pretty big items on my agenda to accomplish by the end of the year, and one in particular did not um, did not happen. And I'm still here in this particular living space. And I was looking for property last
Living
year, so
spaces.
I had to manage my emotions and feelings a little differently. Um, Trying to celebrate the holidays and not really feeling celebratory is difficult. Y'all know I'm huge on Christmas. I did not put up a tree.
I would say your tree usually still be up.
I didn't put up a tree. Right, it would have been. We're in Valentine's mode here. You can't see all that, but we're definitely decorated for Valentine's Day already. I decorated for Christmas, but there was no tree up. You know, it was a lot. It was a lot of things. A lot of plates were spinning. You know, mourning people that are still alive is weird. When you can't be around people that you want to spend time with, but they're still here. You know where they are. You know, but you don't have time or schedules not matching. Grieving the living is an interesting
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I spent a lot of time and during the holidays um, dealing with that. 1 week I was sick, and then 1 week my ankle was had a sprained ankle. It's like this is not the holiday break I envisioned.
Mm.
So it was a lot going on. I did manage to make some new moments with Mama. We went to some we went we be in the street. We went to some things. We went and saw some stuff. We had some holiday experiences that we haven't done before. Just wasn't the same, mm,
Mm.
that I'm used to during the holidays. So yeah, it's been a rough 90 days.
Mm.
Very indifferent. The feeling of indifference has been weighty.
I've heard a lot of that. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of that. I guess I've been okay. I've been okay. I've been trying to push some things out. Been getting frustrated at ideas that I get. Um, you know, um, I said to some of my friends, just a few things that kind of dropped in my mind for not necessarily for 2025, but just things to do. I always get visions of things, but I'm almost, you almost get tired of doing projects and things like that, or get tired of planning projects, or just even having the thoughts of them. And I'm like, God, are these for me or is this for the people? Because some of this
So
stuff I do
gladly give
already,
it
right? It's like I already do some of this stuff by myself. Um, but yeah, so I've been, but I still try to follow through and at least jotting it down. You
up.
know, jot it down, create a little graphic or something for it, just so I can say I did that part. Um, Walking with a lot of people lately, and everybody's been in kind of like at least I'm noticing an uptick where people have been, like you said with Christmas, a lot of people were saying that they just didn't feel Christmassy or didn't want to spend it with people. I mean, I've been noticing a huge social withdrawal, and it may be something that's always been there, but people are voicing it now.
Mm.
So just kind of seeing that, just in in the work that I do, just kind of sensing that stuff for myself personally. I've just been kind of fairly okay, and to be honest, some things probably not digging into, on purpose. because it's just like, let me just live in the moment for what's happening right now, enjoy it for right now, for whatever it is. I do sense a lot of things going on, but also try to still stay aware of the blessings and I guess everything that it is to be life. Just finished yesterday, just submitted. I'm happy that I've been trying to push out this conversations card game, or whatever. So I finally got that done after hiccup and trying to get it, whatever. So I finally got that submitted. So I'll have some little beta aspects of it coming soon. You know, soul circle conversation cards. You know, so that people can kind of get to know people on a different level.
I love
You
it.
know, just on a more intimate level, because that is one thing and y'all know I believe this. I think as much as we withdraw and as we whatever, I think it's a symptom of really wanting to be known, but we're pulling away because the spaces that we're in is not being known, seen, known, loved, heard, all those kinds of, or at least it doesn't feel that way. And so, even though our behavior sometimes seems opposite, I feel like we're really screaming inside for connection, even though it feels very hard to actually have it, and very hard to get it. So just been, I've been hearing things like that. So it's like I haven't put anything on paper but the soul circle cards, and also something that I've been hearing called soul soak, which will probably be like a conference type thing. But again, I don't want to do no events, because again, you get these ideas and two people show up for the event,
Mm.
So it's like, okay,
Mm.
I just be waiting to see if the pieces come together or something.
Hey, Marnisha.
Hey, my niece, how you doing, sugar?
Hey,
Yeah, I
Eric.
want to shout out everybody who's tuning in. I can see the folks on here. I can see the folks on Instagram. So I definitely wanted to give a huge shout out real quick to everybody that's on here. Hey y'all, hey, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. This will not be a super long conversation tonight, but this is just a conversation that we just wanted to, I guess, re-engage for the new year. Do our check-ins. Um, you know, how's your year going? How's your year starting off? Do these mental health check-ins. It's a lot going on within our society today. Um, MLK Day, and then other things going on, and that's just kind of how I've had my mindset. I just you speak on what you want to speak on. Stuff you don't want to speak on, I don't acknowledge. But I do want to encourage you real quick, Angel, before I forget. Delayed does not mean denied. So hang in there, man. Hang in there. God might be working some extra magic on your behalf. So just hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Um, it'll come to pass. And Lee, I'm excited for these cards. I cannot wait till they get on the market. That was you working your, because you got a direct
Yeah.
connection with. So you go on and work that little magic. Go on and do all of the
Yeah,
things.
Yeah.
yeah.
Make it
Y'all remember the
happen.
guy that used to go, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say this. Sometimes, you just say delayed is not denied. Um, sometimes the timing are, we want things to happen at a certain time, but God sees
Yeah.
what's ahead. I know for a fact that had I gotten what I wanted at the time that I gotten the things that were going on now at work,
Yeah.
I'd have been
Absolutely.
I'd have been pulling my hair out,
Absolutely.
wondering if I could keep it. So
Mm, mm,
so it's a reason.
mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
reason for those
Every
things.
time.
And I had to wrestle to get to that revelation. Like had I gotten it, I would have been so miserable right now,
Yeah.
Mm.
stressed and worried about whether or not I could hold on to that blessing in the midst of all the changes that are happening behind the scenes. So he know me.
He know you.
My daddy know me. He know me, and he know I'd have lost my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, dealing with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just
How's
gotta get
and this question is for anybody that's tuned in. How's your mindset? How's your mental? how's your spirit? How's your faith? How are your beliefs? Um, I like to call this a well-versed show. We talk about everything under the sun, but our main focus is always our mental health. Our main focus is always our relationships in whatever capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, how's your connection with yourself? How's your connection with those close to you? How's your connection, with the world right now? Um, I've been hearing a lot about keeping the faith, just keeping the faith, in a world that's over abundant in doubt and concern and fear and probably even some hate and even all the craziness, how just how to keep the faith and stay focused and stay tuned in because life is life, and but every day is a new day. So a new day permits another chance. So how do you just keep going? How do you keep going?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You asking that too remind me of a question I asked for the gentleman's check-in. I do it with my clients too, but when we're doing our gentleman's mental health check-in, it's like, what's happening in you?
Hmm.
In you, what's
Yeah,
happening in you?
yeah,
You know, yeah,
yeah.
mm.
I think for
Yeah.
me, I had to I had to sit in it first. Um, we get so uncomfortable when things are uncomfortable, and when they're not looking like what we hope, what we expected. That we're just trying to get to the next thing. We're trying to get out of the hole, out of the dark, out of the
Mm-hmm.
whatever to get to the next chapter. And we need to shift. We need to shift. Everybody want to preach to you about moving forward and moving on and pushing ahead. And sometimes you need to sit and be still.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
I had to sit in those moments and really pull out what the defining emotion and what that mindset was at that time. Is this fear?
Mm-hmm.
Is this pain? Is this discomfort? Is this grief? What is it? Is this anger today, right now? And that
Hmm.
takes a lot of emotional maturity that we don't always make time for. Even if we know how to do it, we just don't make time. Because who got time to sit in their feelings when we got stuff to do? We got to work.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get somewhere. We got stuff to do. But that was what I had to do. So, my mindset right now, I would say for the top of the year, I'm still processing. I'm processing. I stopped doing New Year's resolutions a while ago as well. I did do something with my staff. We did a New Year bingo. Shout out to somebody from Caritas who did a who did a New Year's bingo, and I saw her, and she just had things she wanted to do for the year that she put on the calendar. So 25 for 25 was good. I did that with the staff. It was a great exercise. But even once I finished it, still felt like New Year's resolutions. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Still kind of felt like that, even though it was a different spirit to it. But processing, would be my mindset right now.
Mm. How do you do with like when you were saying sitting with trying to figure out the emotions? Because I think sometimes I have a little bit, and I don't know if it's the autism or whatever, but sometimes I have the technical term is kind of like alexithymia, thymia, or however they pronounce it. But it's like it's almost it's a difficult. I know I feel something, but I have a hard time a lot of times if you ask what is it that I feel.
Hmm.
So or where do I feel it? Because even with our emotions, like it's in your body. Sometimes relational things I feel deeply in my stomach. Those I can feel very strongly. Any other thing, sometimes it's hard for me to find where it is. Because there's also some association with where you feel it as to what the emotion might be too. A lot of times, but like sometimes are you feeling sad? It's like, yeah, kind of sad, or I'm feeling kind of. I go to the doctor and they say you got to. I was like, I got a pain. It's like, is it sharp? Is it? And like, well, I see now you lost me. I can't tell you that part. But I can tell you I'm feeling something, or something feels a little bit different. But how are you with like you say, sitting with? Well, I usually say sitting with, but sitting with yourself to see what is this that I'm that I'm feeling.
I think for me, spending years of uh, reacting negatively to things and conversations and people and stuff that makes me uncomfortable has helped me to process my
Mm,
feelings better. Taking that moment every day, where I'm doing devotion in the morning and, pulling up the Headspace app is helpful, all that,
mm,
whatever, woosah time. But what really helps is thinking of how I would explain it to somebody. How would you explain it to somebody else? So if I'm distressed and, people can pick up on it, it's only certain people that's going to pick up on it,
mm,
certain people like us, that would get that from me. But if I had to explain it to somebody I'm with, how would I explain it? That helps me to figure out what the emotion is. Because I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to sound. I don't want to sound foolish. I don't want nobody laughing at kiki when they ain't supposed to. So, how if I had to explain it to somebody, that helps me on
mm,
how to figure out what it is. Without having to give too much of it away.
mm-hmm.
It helps me kind of at least get to the area,
Yeah, yeah.
core, the whatever. Also, um, prior to that last surgery, living with physical pain and chronic illness for years definitely helps me to identify, is this a physical pain or is this an emotional pain?
It's,
Is this something new or is this old trauma?
it's
That helps because I was so used to having aches and pains and things in my body all the time that I can, directly tap into, okay, I need to be still for a second, because that's gonna hurt. As soon as I move, that's gonna be a problem. Or okay, I need to take the stairs, or I can't take the stairs today. This is an elevator situation. It was always something, that I was figuring out within my body, that helped me to figure out, if I'm stressed, if I'm angry, it's going to affect me physically. So I
mm-hmm.
know it's gonna be back, it's gonna be stomach, it's gonna be pelvis, it's gonna be something. But I knew how to balance that, to not be in physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I was in physical pain, separating this is, my medical situation, or this is stress and trauma
Something else.
that I need to deal with right now.
That's interesting to me because it's almost the opposite for me. Because I've spent so much of my life feeling some kind of way, it's hard to identify what it is. Like that's it's like there's I'm so used to grief, so used to so that we talk about like being disconnected from our body. I have that where it's almost
Mm,
like I don't know. I always feel like this. That's why it's
mm,
like I think I have a high tolerance for pain, and so I could be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. So now even when people say, how you doing? It's like, oh, I'm fine. I think you see something. Let me know. Let me know. But I still have to sometimes pull out the feelings wheel. Literally get the feelings wheel and actually like this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm which is huge for us. But it's like it's more so like the emotional things for me have been, like just throughout my life have been so whatever. It have been so it's almost like I'm just used to it. So my measure for I feel good or I feel fine or I feel okay, I might still have a knife in the side of my neck. Talking about, oh, I'm fine.
mm,
You know, you know, it's like I feel fine.
mm.
Oh, what about that right there? Well, I always feel like that. That's just, that's just
Somebody
it's
always stabbing me in the back.
yeah. Somebody always it's always something,
My
something
God.
just throwing over here in the flesh over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I asked that too because like I've noticed that sometimes it's different. For different people, and I think that whole thing of coming to ourselves to see what's happened, what are we feeling, but also with what we're feeling, what's happening in me,
Mhm.
what is this causing
Yeah.
in me,
Yeah.
and I just think that that's just it's fascinating too when you actually start to ask people those questions and you take time to sit to wait for the answer,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
It
it's
was.
kind of forced to come up with, well, this is what's going on with me.
Yeah, and it was definitely the opposite for me, because how I was feeling would affect me physically. Um, and because I was always in pain, so I did have the, I always feel like this, but if something else happened, it would change.
Gotcha.
It would
Mm-hmm.
change the feeling. So now this is pain where I can't move, or now this
Mm-hmm.
is pain where I can't walk, or I can't work out today, or I need to sit down today,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm nauseous today. It would do something different to my body, or it would change the pain that I was used to living with. I
Yeah.
guess that's what it was. So I had this level of pain that was always going on, but stress, anger, irritation, people, it would
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
would it would shift drastically. Um, and at the point where, I'm in the ER a couple of times, throughout the year, it's like we can't have that. So what is this? I had to figure it out quickly so I wouldn't end up, on the floor.
Yeah.
Or for me, more so I don't have to discuss it. So let's
Mm.
manage this as best we can right now, so I don't have to explain to somebody why I can't walk, because I don't want to tell that story 29 times. You know.
And and the crazy thing about that is that we are accustomed to living with and in our trauma, right? Because it's so normal that it's our formal way of living on a daily basis. And I think that's huge for our culture specifically. How do we loose that?
Mhm.
Because it's a traumas are burdens,
Yeah.
you know. And obviously they affect you mentally, right? They affect you physically, they affect you spiritually, they affect you emotionally. All them things with the LLY at the end, they affect you. How do we loose those things? Because just because it's all I know, or that's what I'm used to, or that's how I grew up, or it just is what it is, it's not okay.
It's not.
And
Yeah.
we're getting older, so it affects our bodies differently now. And I
Right.
can't be listen. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah. I
I
think that
can't.
that's where it is. I think that it is important that we start to turn to, the word conversation means to turn, right? So it's like to actually turn and start pointing, because I'm becoming more, like I said, I struggle with it, but I'm becoming more aware. And so then when we come into this awareness, you're able to kind of see it and then facilitate what comes next. So to loose it, I think we really do need to start having meaningful conversations. Like not just talking, everybody talking, but I'm
Right.
talking about having meaningful conversations that even attempt to, y'all have heard me talk about like trying to have not having undelivered emotional communication, right? I'm not talking about emotionalism, but moving into actually communicating emotion. That's one of the things that I'm trying to extract with these conversation cards, is to get people to actually have emotional communication, not just details, this happened to me information, but what it caused in me. So as we start to turn towards it, I think it starts to loosen the shells over our heart, or loosen the hardness over our heart. And not like that we're bad people or something like that, but because a lot of what we really feel has been shut down, right? You don't have
Yeah.
time. Like Angel said, sometimes we don't have time to do it. And that's not just from you, that's from society, right? That's from how we've been raised. That's from how we've been cultured, where there's no time to really hear how you're doing. I mean, come on. Honestly, how many of us would probably feel a lot better if somebody said, "How you doing?" Not just in passing, and stopped. I'll wait. To actually wait for you to tell me, how are you doing? So that we can have emotional communication and not just intellectual communication. Because that's happening, a mile a minute. The intellectual conversation. I'll tell you what somebody did to me. I'll tell you, but I'm not telling you what. And you can see that I'm angry, right? You can see
Yeah.
that I'm mad, but I'm not telling you what it's causing in me. So my heart is still kind of being shut up. It's still kind of being shut down because I got to go to work tomorrow. Because I gotta pull up my big boy boots or whatever, how that phrase go. It's like so we're trying to keep up appearances, but we're missing authenticity of what's really actually happening within us and in our body. So then that energy gets stored within us instead of actually releasing from us or whatever. So I think that really having the space to start having those kind of conversations. And again, not even just waiting. And I'm not telling anybody else to do this, but not even just waiting for a safe space to do it. Because see, we keep waiting for the safe space, and sometimes you just got to be bold. Because if we wait, I know it's like if you wait for the safe space, you're talking to a society that's trained in the same thing. So there has to be a training in safety, and so you can start having emotional communication. Even that doesn't mean you're telling everybody all of the gory details of things, but starting to shift to emotional communication. Brysen, this is just a little example that we don't realize could go a long way. Brysen, you my chocolate drop. You beautiful. But I stopped there. That was very intellectual, honestly. It was just details. But it's Brysen, you my chocolate drop. You beautiful. And just looking at you makes me actually feel home, welcomed, joy. Looking into your eyes, girl. It just makes me feel I feel close to you. You know what I mean? So actually going into, don't just pay the compliment.
Okay.
Don't just pay, right. Don't just pay the compliment. Say how it's impacting you. Say how that person, and that's just a little simple elementary example, but it's like I call it take it full circle. Don't just say, oh man, thanks for the hey, thanks for paying for that meal for me.
Call out its purpose.
Call out its purpose and its impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll start shifting us from just because it's like you don't stop intellectual communication, but it brings it full circle and welcomes in the emotional aspect to it too. So now our emotions are designed to flow, and we're expecting them to be read through the wall. Right. And so it's just so we can start. People say, I don't want to be vulnerable. That's how you practice vulnerability without you ain't said nothing. What all you said was, man, looking at you just brings me joy. Starts to loosen up the, I think, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it myself. And it's something.
And I mean, that's when we learn those things, when we're little in school, how to formulate an actual sentence, right? The subjects, the verbs, you know, the verb is the action, the ending, subject and the predicate and those things. And that's how conversations are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
With purpose. You
To
know,
turn. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And like us Marnisha, she says I'm my own safe place. And sometimes we feel defeated where we feel like we can't depend on anybody else, where we can't be vulnerable with anybody else. But we are not, on this earth to be 100% independent, right? This is a life of healthy codependency. Um, but sometimes it's hard to peel those layers back.
Yeah. I just realized some more of that recently. I always knew I was self-reliant, but just even these past month or so I've been seeing just how it's showing even more of
Mm,
how I'm over into almost total self-reliance almost all the time. Almost all the time. I went to a what do you call it? A little sound bath thing, and sort of the little sound healing music and stuff like that or whatever. And I realized sitting there, just in this relaxed state, I realized how unrelaxed I was. Realized
yeah,
how much, even laying on this floor, laying on this yoga mat, how much I was still trying to hold myself up, like just trying to, went to the dentist the other day to get a filling, and I about 5 times during this 1 hour, or this little 40-minute thing, I had to keep reminding myself, bro, let them take care of you.
yeah,
But I could sense my whole everything in me standing up, like holding myself up. and I know where it comes from too. It comes from my earliest feelings of abandonment. And so it's like you only got you to depend on. And so while to most people that may look like, oh, he looks very confident, very, this is that and the other. It's like, yeah, but some of the fuel in there is toxic fuel. Some of that fuel is coming from having the fear of anyone else having to hold me up, to the degree that it'll even play in relationships. I don't need you to treat me well. Why? Because I got me.
Yeah.
I got me. I ain't even worried about you trying to make me. I'm so used to having to make myself happy and please myself and be whatever myself. eh, You know, that don't mean that I necessarily consider something toxic, but it's like I do have a higher tolerance than some people would because I'm so used to being self-reliant. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's overly. It's not that what you're saying, that interdependence that we're actually created for and
Mm-hmm.
designed for. But again, to the naked eye, oh, he's confident, he's self-reliant, he's strong. And it's like, yeah, but some of that is tears because I really
Mm-hmm.
would love to just fall into Angel's arms and just lay there. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, but I don't want to be too heavy. I don't
He
want to take
ain't heavy. He's my brother.
right. Designed to take up space. Angel, you muted.
And she just a
She got to
talk.
rewind. She just
I
talking.
should have been.
Oh,
That was a good time to be muted.
Hey, Tamika.
I was just being petty.
hey, how
Hello,
you
thank
doing,
you.
sugar?
Yeah,
That's my
all
sister,
right.
y'all. How you
I
doing?
was thinking about, even the confidence and self reliance. Some of that, not even the flip side, but on this in the same token, comes from that trauma. It
Mm-hmm.
comes from being let down and betrayed so many times that you're like, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. I got it. You ain't got to do it. I got it.
Yeah.
So even people that offer assistance, like, you're going to mess it up. I got it. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you miss out on genuine connections
Yeah.
because you're so
Yeah.
used to being let down.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
you know what's interesting, and a lot of people won't own it as a grief. We'll flaunt it as a flex. And
Mm.
it's like you're really grieving though. Everything in you is screaming, I want to be able to just not, but I'm so afraid. It's fear and not love. And so just being able to recognize what energy is at work in us, what energy is actually at work in us. Well, yeah, but the world is, and then we'll justify. I've seen us defend fear, our trauma, we will defend it to the heels. But sometimes because it's the thing that has helped us, at least seemingly to us, it's the thing that's helped us stay alive. But I've been saying to people like, everything that preserves you does not necessarily serve you, right?
Right.
And so that, like, there's some things that it's appearing that it's preserving me, but the truth is it's not truly serving me, because what's my true nature is still being suppressed, stifled, repressed, depressed, you know, and everything but expressed.
And correct.
Yeah, and caressed. Yeah. Bryson, you can't say certain words just, and when you say it, it just make me just
Mm, mm, mm,
Y'all so sick, man.
mm, mm, mm.
Good grief.
At the end of the day, though, it's about searching your soul. I don't know if you cleanse your spirit first or you cleanse your mental first. I don't know if they go hand in hand. You got to do both if it's a dual exercise. But I really believe that, cleaning and cleansing one will definitely help you in the right direction for healing with the other. Tamika says, love is always feared. You never know how it's going to hit you. Living someone is always taking a chance. Leaving
Mm.
someone is always taking a chance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just living. is taking a chance. Isn't, which is interesting because our society shouldn't be that, y'all. We really truly are designed for one another, with one another, to feel a part, to belong. Like not the whole fit in thing where I gotta go and try to fit in, but just
Hmm.
the reality of that we belong. And just quite frankly, we haven't grown. Most of us, I should say, haven't grown up feeling that, like that I just belong.
And finding your peace and maintaining your peace is not exiling those that surround you, because at the end of the day, no one else can be your peace anyway. They can sow into it.
There you go.
um,
That's that
but
preserving and not serving.
yeah, yeah, you got to serve it up.
Yeah.
I got you, Tamika. Loving someone is always taking a chance. Girl, listen. We know. I
Yeah.
know. I'll say I know. I know. But it's
Yeah.
always very necessary. That
Yeah.
vulnerability has to be there.
Yeah.
Vulnerability opens up so many doors, especially
Nothing
when,
grows without it.
yeah,
And
Nothing
yeah.
yet
thrives
it's
without it.
still so very countercultural. Still.
How do we? That's what. Because I said to somebody, it's like I kept hearing the other week. It's like I want to do something, but y'all know we talk about it all the time. But it's like I don't know how to appeal something about relational cooperation. If we would cooperate, y'all remember when Rodney King said, "Can't we all just get along?" It's like there's something about just relational cooperation. If you go into situations already feeling like I gotta hold something up, I gotta
Yeah.
put a certain wall up or put a certain, it's almost like, and again, I'm not, because there's one thing now. It's like it seems like everybody's walking on eggshells on one side or the other. Do you have the people who are totally just like, what would you call it, like disregarding of what people are feeling and sensing and this and the other. Then you got people on the other side where everything is trauma.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, now wait, now, it's like that just relationality. That's why it's like that relational cooperation where we're really taking into consideration finding our sweet spot, finding our balance. And it may sound very ideal to people, but that's our thriving space. We think our thriving is not needing nobody. I'm good because now I don't need you. And it's like,
Right.
that's not the truth though. And it may feel whatever for a minute, but it's like we really need that, just that reciprocity. We remember we did that show on reciprocity. Like we really need that reciprocity that says, and that don't mean we can always agree on everything or get along with everything, get along on everything, but just I just feel like we need a lot more of that. It's like I said to somebody before, you talk about you don't have no support, you don't have no whatever, but come on, look at how you act. You're not even. Are you even being supportable? Everything that comes your way, you chew it, you bite its neck down, bite its neck off. You don't like people. You don't like. It's like, and these things don't. At the end of the day, they're not. It's not conducive ground for relational thriving, or for social thrive, or for our being thriving. So we try to find ways to not need each other. I'm so sick of hearing the word codependent today. I don't. Some of these things are not really, to me. I just think it's not serving us, and I would rather try to find a language that does, like what you just said, Bryson. The peace thing, that's a fruit of your spirit. So protecting your peace happens by you being your peace, not by you just going and locking it off of into putting it under a bowl, as they would say, putting the candle's light under a bowl. It's like, no, it's glow. Are you gonna have people that are gonna come that are chaotic? Absolutely, absolutely. But that don't mean that you got to change.
Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that you have to run. Because when we run, what we're basically saying is, I'm not fully aware of and I'm not fully in control of myself. So I need to go away and protect my people. Now, if you're there, okay. But as we mature in this, somewhere we have to learn to be what we are even in the face of things that aren't being what they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm still controlled by them. To run and say, I'm protecting my peace. Oh, you still controlled by society then.
Mm.
Mhm.
I think I have been living in a space um, the last few months or the last year or whatever, um, where I haven't seen a whole lot of reciprocity in relationships and friendships and different natures, and I've gotten to the point where it's the word. It's not acceptance because I know it's not right. Maybe acknowledgement or maybe just admitting that this is where that person is. This is what it is.
It's acknowledgement.
Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that I can control. I can only control my response to it. But this is where this person is, and
Meeting
we
people where they are,
meeting people where they or not meeting them, but
and
just
but navigating
admitting
accordingly.
it. This is where they are, and um, it's not changing who I am or changing what I do. It might be stepping back or stepping to the side, but just admitting that people are not um, they're not you. We don't love
Mm-hmm.
the same. We don't express love the same. We don't support the same. We don't express condolences the same. We don't, we're not in the same place financially all the time or with our time. And some people are just doing the best they can at this particular time in their life with what they're dealing with. And we don't know all of that. And as much as we would like reciprocity from the people that we care about, it's not always going to happen, and it's not always possible because they're in a different space. So
And
just that admitting, I think, has lifted a lot of stress um, that was formerly expectation,
that's what I was gonna say.
or even anger because I wasn't getting what I was giving back. But now it's just okay. That's that.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment. We listen and we don't judge. That's what that is. And how am I going to respond to it?
I was gonna say that's the thing is like to not confusing reciprocity with equal. Like the exact because if a person is just doing them in the good what do you call it, the good context of that, they're really just being themselves. They're just being themselves, and if they're just being themselves and they're being authentically them, and I receive them as them and actually accept it and not expect them to be a fish when they're really a squirrel. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like there is reciprocity because they're giving of their essence what they really are. And the problem isn't them being what they need to be. The problem then becomes me not receiving that
Exactly.
this is a fish that I'm expecting
That
to
tickle. I don't know why
be.
that tickles me.
This
You
is a fish
can't
that
even
I'm
swim.
expecting to be
No.
a squirrel. Right, right. That I'm expecting to be a squirrel. But that's what you're saying is like so key. And that's why I say like on both ends of it, because there's some things where it's like people are just not, lack of better words, y'all, measuring up. And then there's some things where no, they're really just being
Right.
who and what they are. And so I have to receive that in a way that comes from. And one example I had was I was thinking about a trip. I was with with some of my friends, and some things went wrong. Everybody responded to her situation very differently,
Hmm.
and but I think because she knows who each person is, she was fine. Because I said nothing. I just stood next to her
Hmm.
the entire time, said nothing, sat next to her, and was, whatever. Other people, somebody went to try to go and let me go get give me a manager. I need to see the supervisor. you know, some other people was huggy and really, oh, whatever. And it was like, and I looked at that and I was like, yeah, everybody's being what they are. And she's okay because I think she sees who everybody is and what they are. So then she can receive it. Everybody still responded in love. Everybody was still being their I won't say their version, but being their expression or their distinction of what love is. And so I think that if we start looking at things like that versus just the expectation that everybody's gonna have the same amount of money, everybody's gonna love in my love language or the same. I do think we all need to become versed in it, right? We need to learn, hey, this is Angel's love language, this is Brysen's love language, because and I want to find within me the ability to be able to serve that at times. You know what I mean? To be able to serve those kind of things so we become multilingual in terms of love. But when we all really just set our attention on being authentically who we are, I know that Brysen ain't the one that I go to get my feet rubbed. But it doesn't mean that she loves me any less than Angel that'll rub my booty.
No,
Do you
no.
feel
I knew that was coming. No.
Well, be glad I said booty. Be glad I said booty instead of the other B word.
And you kind of got some pretty feet. I would rub your feet.
He got pretty feet.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I would rub your feet, friend.
He got some pretty feet.
Oh,
put him in the camera.
I can't even get my leg up there.
You gotta pay for that.
Because we can start that OnlyFans page.
The after show.
With your feet. Not with after show feet. Oh.
I did have some people that wanted some. I'm gonna say that.
Make them pay. Okay. Anyway,
did y'all know people buy dirty drawers? Oh, not dirty, but worn underwear. That's a whole.
You know, you just never know what's happening in this show. What?
The offers people make.
We done went from reciprocity to feet to.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sidebar. Sorry. Hey, Merrick.
What?
Hey, Merrick.
What's up? What's your real name?
That's his name. It's just backwards.
Backwards, yep. I mean, if we could just carry this, I think my thing is if we could just carry this perspective or this outlook or these feelings past the show, past today. I would like for this conversation to resurface in a couple of months.
My gosh.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of months.
Yeah.
Just to do a check-in to see where people's mindset is, to see how things are going, to see if any of these things that were spoken on tonight, were applicable to your life, or maybe you're seeking, additional, support, if that's been applicable to your life and how it's actually working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we oftentimes have these platforms to where we have a lot to say, right?
We get fat with knowledge and they don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk a good game. That's what I was saying, like how we've talked. And I said, an Angel had to keep it together.
My historian is over here taking notes. So I know that she is not going to let this ride.
What you just say about me?
Well, I said you had to get me together because I say sometimes, even with the show, even with our show, I was like, are people watching? Is it making an impact?
Right. And I got to come back. There were 149 views.
But I'd be wanting to hear this shifted my life. It's because otherwise, are we? And I say this with my groups a lot of times. I'm in here getting all this information, but are you applying? The amount of times where I've said, we've talked about some things, it's like, oh, Zar, blah, 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 blah. And then I say, well, did you do what I mentioned last time?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I haven't even dove in. So what are we doing?
Right? What are we doing?
I think a lot of people might still be processing it. Again,
some of them might be. Some of them might be
cultural. You got to hear it 10 more times, before you can actually apply a piece of it. But for the most part, just digesting this is difficult. It sounds good, it's intriguing, and then it sounds good, and then I'm listening, and now we're tuning in every month, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna try some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's levels to this.
It is.
You don't think people just discouraged? Because how many times do we see a tragedy and we say we need to come together? How many times you go to a family reunion and say
Today was a tragedy.
we need to get back, we need to get together more than just a funeral,
Oh my God.
and then no
And I've
one
been to several
actually,
funerals and
yeah, it's like, and then no one actually
I ain't seen
follows
y'all since the
through.
last.
We don't make the, so this is what happens. Here's the brain science, y'all. You know, I gotta go there for a second with that. We say these things, and again, I totally get what you're saying, Angel, and I agree 100%. It's like sometimes some of us sometimes still is processing it, and the light bulb comes on when the light bulb comes on. But there's a lot of times where it's things like we say it, and so it has come up in our consciousness. All right. And this is neuroscience tells us this. When something comes up in your consciousness, I say all the time, you need to make an active reach towards it. Because if you don't, guess what it does? It falls back down and it calcifies. And so then we end up getting harder, right? And then we're waiting for it to resurface again. And so we'll say we're at the funeral. I was gonna say the reunion. We're at the, because that's what our
That's
family
what it
reunion is
is.
now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're at the funeral, and then we say we need to get together more than just our funerals. But then or we might exchange a number, but then we don't actually make the active reach towards it. Something else always becomes more. Friends, we need to get together more, and then we
I
don't
don't think
actually
people
do
want
it.
to get together more.
That's the thing. It's like, and we got to look at what is that that's causing it to
It's
happen.
just
It's
me.
it's that it's that it's that fight. I think that we were talking about in the beginning. It's a grief. It's how are we social beings? Come on, how are we social creatures at our nature, but so okay with I don't want to. I'm not saying we all have different intensities of how much we want to be around people, but then we're saying we don't want to be bothered with people. That's totally against your nature as a being. You're a relational creature. And so you not wanting to get together is not coming from love, meaning that's just your flow. It's coming from grief. Because when you are with people, you don't feel seen, you don't feel known, you don't feel loved, you don't feel like you belong, you don't feel like they're really paying attention. They're not speaking your language. There is no reciprocity, or it feels like there's no reciprocity. And so then it's like, I'm good. I don't even want to be with people right now. I'm enjoying my time by myself. And there is some truth to that. I love solitude, but I started realizing working from home, being in solitude, being in Las Vegas, where I can probably count my friends, which people say that's good if you can count your friends on one hand, but it's like the people that I actually see. I realized, like I said to my therapist, I'm good. I feel good for the most part spiritually. I feel good in my connection to myself. My problem is I'm missing the social community. I'm missing, and not just being around people. It's really knowing Angel, not knowing, and here's my thing, Angel, not knowing just the details of your life. Because I get lost when people start talking about details of their life. I get lost in the volume of the details. Knowing your heart. What is your heart saying when you're telling me this story? And not particularly you, but you're telling me this story. It's taking you 45 minutes to tell me this story about how somebody did something to you. Not once did I hear you say what's happening in you. I want to know your heart. I've sit with Sean. Sometimes Sean used to come in and say, you say, how was your day? And then I hear about all of the employees or all of the things that happened at the job. But I haven't heard your heart. I still haven't heard how you, because I want to know you. And so that's why soul circle conversation cards. Like
I love it.
and I'm going to be horrible at this game. I mean, at this thing, I'm probably going to be horrible at it. Myself, because some of the questions really are like, oh man, I gotta
Good. You got to be really, really particular
I gotta
about who's
answer.
saying.
Yeah, and some of the challenges in might say go hug Angel for 6 seconds. What? 6?
How
I
many
can give a 3.
seconds?
They say 20 seconds is actually where you actually feel the
Yes,
release of
yes,
oxytocin.
yes.
It's like,
And
God
you do
damn,
better than you think you do. You have grown. You
I'm
have
growing.
grown with the
But
number
y'all
of
are helping,
seconds
but
that you'll
but
give
you all are
somebody.
helping me grow, right? And
You
so
know.
some of my
But
friends who
again, I ain't playing that game with certain people in the room.
that's the thing. It's like, I mean, you can always pass and say, because there's some cards that say pass
I'm
this
gonna
to
be
the next person,
passing
tell them
every
no
other call.
problem.
Who in here?
But
Okay, no.
but it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, I know I'm probably gonna feel I'm socially awkward. I feel socially awkward a lot of the time. But it's to at least, Bryson, to turn. Let's turn towards it. Let's turn towards that awareness. If we do a game night at our house, I always like to have some game where I get to hear what you think about stuff, other than just I see you're very good at taboo. Let me hear what you think. Let's play a little bit of Cards for Humanity or something
Right.
that actually.
Right.
Cards with humanity.
Right.
I think
You
for
all,
many of us who are good at solitude, for the most part, we're not socially awkward. We are socially selective. Right?
Mhm.
We're fine. We're fine with being by ourselves. Somebody called me earlier today, and she's like, "Hey, Day, how you doing?" She said, "I'm sorry, did I wake you up while you sleep?" I said, "No, baby, I live by myself. I ain't used my voice in 6 hours."
I know that's
That's,
right.
that's the last time somebody talked to me. She cracked up. I'm like, that's the situation. I'm here by myself. Anybody talk to but these fish? And I already told them good morning. I'm gonna tell them good night later. Unless they act a fool in the day, we don't even talk. No, like I'm here by myself. She's like,
Mhm.
I forgot you, man. I missed that, But see, people understand that. But we are socially selective, so it's
Mhm.
only a handful of people that we gonna sit down and have these conversations with.
It's
Um,
true. I agree.
because we have no problem being vulnerable. We have no problem opening up. We have no problem, being emotional or sharing or anything like that. But we are very selective of who we're gonna be doing that with.
Hmm. And I'm generally very selective, you know, but that's also because I have this thing within me, and this is me recognizing me. I don't think people care what I got to say.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's like I can sit, somebody can talk, and I'm a listen. Like I'll listen to the heels, and it's like, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of situations is not conversing about what I would want to talk about.
Hmm.
I agree with that 300%.
Definitely agree with that.
I am the same way. I'm an excellent listener. I'm gonna listen to everything you're talking about,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be very selective with what I share if I share anything at all.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give a great benediction, low key, LeAnzar. Like that whole little wrap up you just did a few minutes ago. That's why I just always let you breathe. I'll just always let it go because you be doing your thing, and you reel it on in. You wrap. It's instinct for you. You wrap it on up. You reel it on in, and you see I just be sitting here shaking my head.
Last sip. There it is.
I
You know
love y'all. That was so
what?
funny.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's as we because the benediction's already been given. We're going to do these church announcements real quick.
Come on,
Um,
announcements.
Sister Angel, what do you have coming up? What's going on in your world?
Valentine's Day is next month.
It is.
We don't need to know about you. Okay.
If you want to share,
Lee, are you smoking a
um,
cigarette? What is
he
that? A
look like
joint?
he look. I'm like, what is this?
It's a
Oh
candy cane,
my God.
but it got that little menthol, that
they got him
winter
on
mint.
the drugs.
Is
Man.
that the green mint? The
Oh,
green
Yeah,
mint?
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, go ahead and hit that.
terrible.
Pass it. Can you pass?
If you are interested in adding some gear to your closet, we got some Love's Great Design brand gear. We got hoodies. We got some hoodies. We got some t-shirts. We got exactly. We got some hoodies and we got some t-shirts. Got a couple of pairs of sweatpants. We got books. If you want to, take a year and devote yourself with this weekly devotional here. If you want to learn about how to survive narcissistic abuse, we got a few things for you. I am currently looking for author vending opportunities specific
Mm,
to authors. So that's what I'll be working on this year. Is being
mhm.
a little more visible. But you'll see some posts going out this week in regards to what's available what's available on the website for purchase. So hoodies, t-shirts, joggers, books, Love's Great Design, angelsimmons.com.
Hey,
I would love to see you in it.
Any talk or anything of a V3 in the mix for 2025 or
No, right
no?
now I'm again focusing on author events specifically. I have had no talks about V3. Um, I would love to bring it back this year. Not ready for a February situation, but that might be
Oh,
a
definitely.
summertime thing I can do. Um, I need people there though. I can't do it like I've been doing it. I need that
Hmm.
house to be
Hmm.
packed. So
I hear you.
the
I
people
get it.
want the V3. If you gonna come, fine. But
I
I'm
get it.
tired of doing V3s and people don't show up. Now the people that show up love it.
All the
Love
time.
it, love it, talk about it, have a great night, eat, drink, and be merry and whatever. And then we do another one, and it's like I'm fighting to sell tickets. I don't want to do that. So if I gotta fight,
I get it.
it ain't right.
I
If
get it.
I gotta fight. But if the people want a V3, I will definitely do that.
I totally get it.
and
That's
pull your
how
stuff out, Mr. Czar.
I
Pull it
am
out.
I, because Angel,
Pull it
you know,
out.
she either show me up or she get me. Why you didn't show?
Pull it on out.
Wait,
pull
what
it
you talking
out,
about the books, right? Pull it out.
pull it
Oh, oh,
out,
okay. We gotta be clear. It's
pull it
2025.
out.
You ready for me?
Yeah, we already did.
Same old books. I ain't written no new book. I ain't writ no new
Are
book.
you
I ain't
written?
writ no new books. I
Writ.
don't plan on written no new books.
Say
You
that
know,
again.
I do still, I put out little articles and some certain things and or little blurbs on my Patreon and stuff, but I ain't writ no new books, and I don't plan to writ no new books no time soon. I didn't tell y'all the name of that. That was Relationship Ready. Uh, moving from relationship goals to wise foundations for relational greatness. You can get those from my website. I think it's scrolling across the screen somewhere. Or
Yes, it is.
yes, it is. And also, this is the Relationality Bible, or what I call, the kind of like the foundation for relationality. Where y'all always hear me talk about relationality or hashtagging relationality. Um, it's picking up a little bit. A lot of people, but I guess my audience is expanding just a little bit. So um, it ain't dead yet. So I wrote it in 2017, but it's still what it is. We also have
Everlasting to everlasting.
Eva Shia, free at last. And I just told them a minute ago I'll post it, I guess, at some point, because I'm actually I have a friendship retreat coming up in April, um, and that's gonna be my actual. Technically, we're gonna do some things with that there, but it'll probably be posted way before then because I'll have it way before then. But April is a friendship retreat in the beautiful, lovely Curacao. Um,
What is it?
it's in the is under the equator. It's almost in South America, just north of Venezuela. It's one of the ABC islands: Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Oh,
And
all right.
yeah, so we'll be doing that in April for 5 days. And then the conversation cards; those will be coming out soon. And this one is the friendship edition. Um,
Love it.
Soul Circle conversation cards, the friendship reunion edition. And then I'm also planning to do, of course, I'll do one for couples, and I plan to do one, I think for family or just like general and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm brainstorming this Soul Soak event, or have brainstormed a Soul Soak event. I'm a little nervous about it because the way I vision it, some of my traditional audience would be afraid of it potentially. Um, Although they do it, they just don't do it under the terminology that I would probably be using. So I'm just trying to see what that is. All right. So there's some things that I've seen the vision for it, but I don't know how it works. And I'm like you, Angel. I don't want to do. I really, honestly, anytime I hear to do something, I immediately go to why. Like I don't. This stuff costs money. Like, and then if somebody
Say
back out, or
it again.
if and it's like, and I'm not operating with. Yeah,
Cost money.
I'm what I have a friend to say. I'm financially embarrassed. So
Embarrassed.
so it's some things that I got to kind of
But even if you had the money, putting
I
on
still
an
don't want to do
event
stuff
with the
unless people want
grandeur
it.
of which we would put
Yeah,
on events, be it a V3, be it a retreat, and to not have the people to
yeah,
enjoy all the things that we put together, it just feels like why?
yeah. It's actually discouraging if we be human.
Very much
If
so.
people be
And
human.
with every event, it's less and less desire to do it because folks don't come outside.
Yeah, and I'm a true believer of giving the people what they want. Had I started a church, we wouldn't have had church every week
Listen,
until the people wanted church every week.
I guess see
It
you
would have
first
been.
Sunday because you
It'd
missed
be
out.
like we starting out once a. Okay, I'll go once a month. I was gonna say once a quarter, but once a month
I would
until the
definitely go to
demand
church.
is there for more. But yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
So that's it with me. That's it. That's the only thing that's going on with me right now, and I'm still working. Still got a few spots for new
Tamika
clients.
want to know what is a friendship retreat? Did you teach people
Tamika
how?
asked me the same thing two
Do
years
you
ago when she
teach
was supposed
people
to
how to
go on
be
this
friends?
friendship retreat.
Well,
Tamika's my sister. Y'all know that. That's my actual.
yes.
That's my big sister. But anyway, friendship retreat is basically just like any other type of retreat, but it is for friends. And we do, there are. I don't necessarily call them classes, but we have intentional conversations. So where there's things set, there is I guess you could say like a theme or whatever. So I'll teach a master class or something like that, or a workshop or something. I figure out how to weave it in where it still feels very relaxing, but also very intentional. So there's this year in Curacao, we're doing connection. Amistad means friendship. That's Papiamental language, which they use in Curacao. So friendship, connection, they spell it with a K, and relax, which is relax. And this year it's only gentlemen going at this point. So it will be the friendship reunion. I mean, the Soul Circle friendship reunion, the gentleman's edition.
Mm.
Only because it wasn't intended to be that way, but only because it's only gentlemen that signed up to go this year. So gonna have a nice time. But yeah, reflective moments and stuff.
And our host, E2.
Um, y'all get with my friends. They're doing amazing things. Y'all see them. Make sure you check them out. LeAnzar, Stockley.com, AngelSimmons.com. Follow them accordingly on their social medias. And as for me, talking about and keeping the same energy about talking about people coming out and supporting. A lot of folks have been asking me, what am I doing? Am I still doing media? Am I still hosting radio shows and stuff like that? And for folks that know me very well, people really know that I like to fly under the radar. That's just my jam. That's really how I've always been, and that's just what's most suitable and most comfortable for me. So you see me here with these geniuses, with these superstars on a semi-regular basis, but I also am doing artist management. So I have my hands on and attached to a couple of amazing local artists in the city of Chicago who are super dope,
Nice.
doing amazing things, um, and are definitely growing. And I mean, securing, sealing, laying, everything about their platform. So, I'm happy to be a part of an event March 10th, City Winery, Frankie Parker and the gentleman. Come
Yes.
check it out. It's going to be dope. March 10th, March 10th, March 10th, City Winery, Frankie Parker and the gentleman. It's going to be dope. I'm happy to, you know, uh, co-work with Frankie. It's pretty dope. It's a vibe, and we're just trying to make some great things happen. And it's on the way. January, the beginning of 2025 has been very busy already, and I'm super grateful for everything that's on the plate.
That's a
So
Monday night.
that's a Monday night. So make some time, take some time. We'll have you in and out. The show starts at 7. You'll be home by 10. Come on out,
I
have
like
a
the
good
city
time.
winery.
And that's also her birthday celebration as well. So come out, show some love. She has a new album called Breathe. It's streaming on all platforms. And it's also heavy on the charts in the UK. So don't sleep, stay connected. Holler at me, inbox me, go to City Winery. I'll be posting a link on my page to get some tickets and all of those things. But now you can stop asking and start acting.
Come
Wow.
Okay.
on.
I
Oh,
appreciate
Come
oh, okay.
In the
on.
meantime, in between time, thank y'all for hanging out. Thank y'all for coming through. May, peace and abundance find you. May you allow it to find you.
Mm.
Um, may
Me,
you
you created.
may you create it. May you loosen your reins on your vulnerability, you know, and
Uh,
just allow.
uh, Tamika, what you talking about?
No, we have not.
What, what you talking about?
I hope she's talking about Frankie.
Right. You talking
Thank
about
you.
What you talking about, Tamika?
Thanks, Merrick. Stop asking, start acting. Come on, that did kind of okay. Yeah. It's time to go across the pond. We are working on it. We working on it. Are we talking about a tour, Tamika? Maybe things are in the works. Okay, so just
You want to know who she talking about, right?
She's
Make
talking
sure.
about her and Frankie.
we talking about Frankie.
Okay, I'm just
We talking about. That's what I'm rolling with.
I'm with you, Bryson. That's what we
We
rolling.
should tour. Okay. Ooh, child.
y'all. Who you still talking about Frankie though, right? That's what
You
I'm
must be
trying.
talking about her brother.
Okay, yeah.
She said y'all. Y'all. Oh, 10-4.
Yeah. No. We just talked about putting together elaborate events and having 5 people in the room.
The three of y'all. See, she is not playing with us now. We appreciate the support and the encouragement, and
We're
that's
gonna go
stop
right down there
asking
to
and start
Texas to her apartment.
yeah,
Tour.
sure, sure,
I will
sure,
sit on
sure.
the stage and talk all day. I need people in the room. So I'm saying, who in the room? Who in the room?
Who all
Showing
gonna
up
be
with
there?
shirts and books and bookmarks and
Who all gonna be
cards.
there? That's what I want to know.
Who
That's
all
what I
gonna
be
be
asking.
there?
America tell
Yeah,
you they invite me. So who coming?
Who all gonna
Okay.
be there?
Now don't not invite me though.
Right.
I
right.
don't have something that don't invite me. I might not come, but you better invite me.
An apartment tour. Oh my God. We doing a crawl. We doing an apartment crawl. Lord.
Oh man.
Gee.
Talking
I love
Thank
it.
y'all for checking us out.
That's cute though. Let's show up to somebody's house and put a
about we on tour.
we on tour.
Yeah.
We doing an apartment crawl 2025.
Follow Angel at Love's Great Design. Follow LeAnzar at Soul Society 61 and LeAnzar. And you can also follow Angel at The Message Inc. if you want to
The
do
Message
a
Media
little
LLC.
mess. Oh, yes, it is because
Message
she
Media
is LLC. Do you
LLC.
hear me? She is LLC. You better correct me, girl. The Message Media
Lovely, lovely,
LLC.
lovely, luscious, and charming.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I like that.
Darling.
You put your degree to good use right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good
Bless
night.
you. Good night. Tamika says she got crowd control. Peace, y'all.